Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well this Friday afternoon. I almost said Monday. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. It's actually episode 243. We are rocking along here. Really excited at what's been going on with the show. Got some great stuff going on. But most importantly, always excited about what you guys are doing out there and a lot of the great feedback that we get from people out there. So if you're listening, hey, give me a shout out. If you're watching on Facebook Live this morning, glad to have you. If you are listening on iTunes, hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a big part of our extended family. Good morning, y'all. Love that. Appreciate that. Good stuff. Morning, Casey. Good morning. Good to see you guys as well. Always great to see that. We're toying around with a new little kind of aspect of what we're doing here this morning with some great stuff, some new software stuff. And we're constantly rocking and rolling in the office. You're trying to add new things that help us really take our business to the next level. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I think we pride ourselves on is the fact that we're always kind of constantly tweaking some things. But today's episode is titled kind of the heart of a champion. All right. And I'm not trying to be motivational, although it will come out to be a little bit aspect of things this morning. So if you're watching and you have an idea what makes it the heart of a champion, one comment, let me know. I'm a big fan of music. Listen to music in the morning, get me rocking and rolling along. I have a playlist that I listen to on a pretty regular basis, whether it's in the truck, here in the office, at home at night. If I'm bored sitting outside, not really bored is a bad way to say it. If I'm sitting outside relaxing and kind of my time, I'll be playing music while, especially in the evenings or something like that, where I've got an adult beverage with me or a good cigar, and really, really love music. And one song that I've really enjoyed recently is the most recent song put out by Carrie Underwood. And it's called the Champion. Really good, the champion aspect of it. And I love some of the words, but there's a part, there's a section in it further, about halfway through it, where Ludacris jumps in. He talks about champion. Okay, and his words go. The words go exactly like this: the C is for the courage I possess through the drama. H is for the hurt, but it's all for the honor. A is for my attitude, working through the patience. Money comes and goes, so the M is for motivation. Gotta stay consistent. The P is to persevere. The I is for integrity, innovative career. The O is optimistic, open and never shut. And the N is necessary because I'm never giving up. C, they asked me how I did it. I just did it from the heart. Crushing the competition. I've been doing it from the start. They said every champion is all about his principles. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I see from a lot of people out there, with people taking their business to next levels or overcoming hurdles, is being able to overcome a lot of great things. Okay, so one of the biggest things I would love for you guys that are watching on Facebook Live, if you've had a hurdle or going through a hurdle, what is one thing that's helped you overcome your hurdles? What's one thing that's helped you take your business to the next level or help you get you through a lull? Because I think everybody goes through that. Everybody in life has a lull. And I'll start this off by talking about some of the lows that we have had and what we have done to overcome that, to do better, to achieve and go further along. And one of the biggest things that I had early on was, 10 plus years ago, was when the mortgage debacle took place. Got divorced, had some things happen, and literally, I had rehab projects that were way upside down. It was not a good thing. It was being stressed out with the market and chaos. As I always like to joke about with people, if you've gone through a bankruptcy or foreclosure or a short sale, welcome to the club. There was a period there where that was like the badge of honor for a good number of years. And those that have gotten into real estate investing haven't had to go through that for the most part yet, because, hey, they've been lucky. But at some point, it's going to happen. I can promise you that. Maybe it's not now. It will be later on. I can promise you that at some point, because things don't always keep going up and up and up and up. Okay. I'm just looking at some of the comments here from people. All right, good. The thing I want to get to with everything is what I had to do is I had to have my faith. And by faith, I'm not talking religious faith. There's a couple of things I've learned long ago being the ex-bartender is you don't discuss religion, you don't discuss politics. All right? Those are two things that you keep out of the conversations because everybody's right and everybody's wrong. Okay? So we'll just leave it at that. But by my faith, I meant my personal faith. I was fortunate enough, though, that I could cut things. I mean, I literally cut down cable. I cut down a whole variety of things to really make things much more affordable. Luckily, I had a very cheap office. Luckily, I was living in one of my rehabs for a while. Then I bounced to another one. I had that flexibility, which was great. But there were periods of time I was eating top ramen all week long or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for weeks. And I did that because that's all I could afford. All right. And luckily enough, I just knew I'm going to come out on top. I'm going to keep doing this. And literally, I had my plan of action. I talked to coaches. I did what I had to do to overcome obstacles. All right. And that's not always the easiest thing, especially if you've never gone through any type of perseverance. You've never gone through a tough, rough time. It's hard to kind of swallow that and understand that, hey, it's okay. It's just a short period of time. And it makes, I think, especially with what our guest yesterday said, Maureen McCann, in our previous episode, of the Knuckle Show, talking about going through, that you appreciate the good times more when you've gone through the bad times. You appreciate, after a while, of the growth you've made as an individual, as an entrepreneur, as an investor, overcoming those obstacles. You really understand that a lot of times you feel alone out there, and it can be a lonely place. But that's why you have to surround yourself with really good people that think like you. If you're going through a troubled time and you're not surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals or people that understand it, it's very easy to get in the Debbie Downer aspect of feeling sorry for yourself. And I'm not going to lie. There's times I felt sorry for myself. Like, what am I doing? Why am I going through all this? But there was a point I was like, I could go get a job, but it's not going to help anything. I'm not going to get any further along than I am. By doing that, I'm only going to be putting my dreams back on hold. And do I really want to do that? Or can I just suck it up? Because I know at some point I can see my momentum working. I can see things that are starting to rock and roll for me. All right. And I'm sure, Tyrone and Garrison and who else has joined us this morning. We got a few people that are still popping up on here. And like Derek, good morning, guys and gals, is you're going to go through that. And it's normal. I know it's not, you don't want to go through that, but everybody goes through that. And you really understand who is in your corner, who is going to help you when you go through this life period. Because the good people that aren't in your corner are the ones that are going to not talk with you. They're going to be like, beating a dead horse. The ones that help you out, whether it's they lend you money, or they give you money, or they help you through a thing, they cook you dinner, hey, they buy you a beer, and just listen to you and give you counsel, not advice, because everybody has advice, but they give you counsel is one of the most important things I can tell you. Those are the important relationships that you have long term. There are people that I went through things that are still great friends that I reach out to and touch base with on a regular basis. You have to realize those are really the quality relationships. Those are the quality friends we all need in life to help us become a champion, to help us overcome obstacles, to get to the point later on from where we are right now, which often feels like the sky is falling, the sky is crashing, the world is coming in on me. To get through that aspect, through that troubled time, to the period of safe, okay, I'm getting my feet back under me, I keep working towards a goal, to the point later on, and who knows what that point is, of where you can feel like success, feel like you've accomplished some things. Because that's what being a champion is. It's not really living life on others' terms, it's living life on your terms. And I think it's a lot of people struggle with that. Well, look at so-and-so, or look at so-and-so, look what they have. Who gives a shit what they have? All right. If you're happy with what you have, if you're content with what you have, if you're really enjoying what you have and smile and feel great about where you're at, that's all that you need to focus on. Yeah, we all have dreams and goals that we want to accomplish, and those are great, okay? You have to have that. Those are the things that keep pushing you forward. If you don't have a vision board, create a vision board. If you don't have long-term 5, 10-year goals, you will eventually get stale and start to drift. So that's the biggest thing that drives me is we hit to a thing, and I'm constantly, okay, what can we do to expand ourselves? What can we do to drive ourselves forward? And there are days that I'm like, I have no idea what the hell we're doing. And I know that may sound crazy, but there are days like that. I'm like, oh God. And I keep looking, okay, we got this. We've got this plan. We got this. Let's keep working towards those things. But there are times I just want to I want to take the day to go watch a movie. I want a day just to relax. I want a day not to show up. Sometimes I get a case of the Mondays. Who doesn't, right? It's going to happen to you. The idea is, as best you can, is to recharge your batteries. Even if you need to take a day, just or an afternoon or an evening to go do something by yourself, recharge your batteries, do it. But realize long term, it's just a small bump on the road. If it's not going to matter in 5 years from now, don't sweat about it. All right? Don't sit here and assassinate your faith on a daily basis when you need to have that, when you need to keep that positive momentum going to drive others, whether you've got a team or people that surround you or family members. I get it. It's tough sometimes to always be in a positive mood. It's tough times to always be, The biggest thing I can tell you is that champions, they do get tired. Champions get tired of training. Champions get tired of going through the motions. But they realize that success lies in the day in, day out activities that they're doing. Success and being the best at their craft is something that they focus on a daily basis. But they're also, one thing you have to realize, they often cut out all the other bullshit that a lot of times gets attracted. And if you're one of these people that attracts drama, you're probably your one worst enemy. If you're constantly turning small, little molehills into mountains of big things and they're not really a big deal, you're wasting energy that could be put towards something much better. And that's the sooner you can get away from that, those toxic things, the better off you are. I used to have a toxic business partner who was toxic to everybody. And the year after leaving that and getting out of that partnership, I experienced so much growth. And it was so great. It was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm actually breathing versus struggling to breathe. Okay. A lot of us have jobs that take on full time. And I get it. You got to put food on the table. You've got to do the things that you got to do. But you've also, at some point, you've got to start taking activities in your time, in your spare time. And if you're in the note business, maybe it's calling banks. Maybe it's reaching out to hedge funds. Maybe it's spending time on LinkedIn and reaching out to special assets or secondary marketing managers. There's things that you can do, you can carve out in your spare time if you have it. All right. And for a lot of people, sometimes maybe it's not being an author. Maybe it's moving up the corporate ladder. Maybe it's moving up and doing things or going into something other than that. That's completely fine. There is nothing wrong with that, people. If that's what you want to do, if that's going to get you closer to your goals, then by all means. One of my mentors, Gregory, was just given an honorary doctorate in India yesterday or the day before. And he posted something, what's your favorite quote that gets you through things, all right? And one of my favorite quotes is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And it is one of those quotes. I mean, he's got a tremendous amount of quotes, okay? Let me pull it up here because there's so many of this stuff. I get an email every day that pops up about carving a path. Okay, here's my favorite Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. And I'll repeat that again. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. And I often feel like we've had to do that over the last few years in the note industry. Tim, you crack me up, buddy. Our good buddy Tim Harridge there, who's got a big event this weekend, rocking along, doing great stuff there. Think you're a smart guy. I'm glad you're so giving of your knowledge. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Tyrone, you know what I'm talking about. Tyrone knows what I'm talking about there. Tyrone's done a great job working. Tyrone is out of Tennessee, Nashville, or Memphis. I can't remember exactly where. He used to drive a forklift and has done great things over the last decade being a real estate investor on the neck of the woods. But I've often felt like that in the last decade, 15 plus years for sure, being in the note industry. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. Thank you, bud. Same here, man. I know you're big giving as well with what you've got going on. But what I'm trying to get at is we often feel like that. I know Tim has probably felt that as he's carved out his real estate company and real estate investments in Dallas. I know I felt like that. Nashville, I was right, Tyrone. Good stuff. All right. Good morning, Stephanie Goodman as well. Because we have often felt that way. Listen to me in the shower. All right, good stuff. That's a whole different picture, my friend. What I'm trying to get at is you're going to feel like that, especially if you're doing something a little bit different than the status quo. Okay. Later, get her to you too as well, Tim. Is sometimes you're going to be hacking, and you may not have people that are there to help you out with in your immediate market, or people that are forthcoming of their time because they're busy doing other things. I have felt like that. I even felt like some of my people that I learned the business from kind of hampered me because they had me kind of pigeonholed in when I was working for them, or pigeonholed what my relationship was with them when I wanted it to be something more. I wanted it to be something bigger, something greater. And so I had to eventually kind of just leave the fold, leave the fold, I guess you call it. Leave the nest is the better way to put it, I guess, and go out and hack a path myself. And this is going back into 2010, where there wasn't really a big secondary market for distressed debt. There was on a bigger player, but I had to hack out my crumbs is a good way to say it. I had to hack out buying assets, and there was plenty of opportunity, but there was nobody there really to show me the way. And I look at it, and I've met some people that went through the same thing in different parts of the country over the last 15 plus years. Some of my good friends who I absolutely love and adore now that we've gotten to know each other over the last decade, people that I could pick up the phone and talk to and just share with, we bounce ideas off of. But you're hacking out a living, and sometimes you feel that way, okay? Note hacks. I like that stuff. That's a great one. Definitely a great thing. Note hacks, definitely good things. We all feel that way at some point. You're going to feel like that way. And hopefully you don't have to feel that way very often. All right. But when you do feel that way, what's the best way to overcome those obstacles? A lot of times people will just shut down. Oh, I don't know how to overcome it, so I'm going to shut down. Look, best thing I can tell you is jump online. Jump on Google or YouTube and do a quick search of what's going on or something out there, whether it's I'll give you an example. Video marketing. A lot of people are struggling with video marketing. Well, if you jump on YouTube and look for a guy by the name of Roberto Blake, he's one of the best YouTube, I guess you could say, teachers, online guy. Done a tremendous amount. I met him at Podfest just recently. This is a channel that I absolutely love. I've spent some time watching his stuff, and it's helped me immensely already. Already come up with several tools that he's recommended to help us boost some things with our videos. I'm like, I look back at myself, I'm like, stupid. But you want to track out to those people, or you want to reach out to people. Maybe you're reading a book and you've got a book that really hits home. Drop an email to the publisher or that person, or see if they've got a Facebook page. I'm in the process right now where I'm doing something right now to somebody I have never met. That sounds really kind of bad. I'm getting ready. I'm doing something right now with the hopes of meeting a big idol of mine, or at least interacting with a big mentor of mine who doesn't know me from Adam. Okay. And yes, I have people like this that I look forward to. And if it works out well, I'll be overjoyed. It'll be exciting. But I'm doing something for that person they don't even know about, just to do something like, because they haven't mentored me, but they have motivated me is a better way to say it. There are things that I follow from this person. I'm not talking about Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk's a phenomenal guy, one of the guys that motivates me. I'm talking about something else. And if it happens, great. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal. but it's at least doing something nice. And that's sometimes we feel that way. I had a chance a few years back to talk with Mark Victor Hansen. And if you know who he is, he's one of the co-authors of Chicken Soup for the Soul, Chicken Soup for Everything. Okay. And he had a tape series out that I listened to. This is going back a few years, 10 plus years ago, listening to tapes. And I burned that tape series up probably twice. I bought it. It was given to me once, and then I bought a second online. I listened to it over and over and over again. It got me through some tough times. It was a motivational thing. And I got a chance to meet him on stage. I don't remember where it was. LA somewhere, I believe, or Orlando. And I walked up to him, and I shook his hand, talked to him for a few minutes. And I said, listen, I listened to this series. It really got me through a really tough time. It really helped me keep my head in the game. And he laughed. He goes, Scott, I was in one of my lowest points when I recorded that series. I was in one of my lowest times of a lot of self-doubt, lack of self-faith, just really doubting myself when I recorded that series. And it means a lot to me that I was able to help you with that. And that turned out to be it turned out to be one of my best series that we've ever filmed, and one of the most purchased, tape series that he ever sold. And you can draw a lot of conclusions from that, and you can take a lot of faith from that these big people go through low times too. And Stephanie said something here. I'm going to pull this up here. Stephanie said, do something every day that scares you. It's a powerful motivator and a way to see you're stronger than you think. Exactly. I totally agree with that, Stephanie. 100% with it. You have to do something that scares you on an almost daily basis. And you have to challenge yourself to do some stuff or expand that comfort level. But going back to what Mark Victor Hansen told me and feeling about that is a lot of us get down and we don't pull our head out of our asses. We don't do the things that we need to do. And if you want to be a champion at some point, you have to let those lulls be shorter every time. If you find your lulls getting longer and longer and longer, look at it. It could probably come down to a variety of just what you're doing on a daily basis. My personal trainer, Thomas Nee, is famous for telling me this on a daily basis and on other things. Hey, it's all about three things. He goes, I have nothing to do with your success. You have everything to do with your success. I'm just here to help guide you along the way. I spent an hour with him. He goes, I can't control the other 23 hours that you do. And the three most important things that you can do to find success is working out or losing weight is doing this. Just sleep right, eat right, and exercise right. Those are three things. And I guarantee you those three things affect us on a business level, a faith level, and motivation level too. If you're putting crap into your body, you're probably feeling like shit. If you're not sleeping at night, you're probably feeling tired and cranky and groggy and negative the next day. And if you're not working out, you're getting overweight, you're getting winded, you're basically strangling this amazing machine that you were given to help you get further along. Because I know that. I was strangling the machine. As I like to make the joke, my 3+ years of nonstop travel were sponsored by Crown Royal and Ribeye Steaks. And while that's great going in, it's not always a good thing adding in a year or 2 years or 3 years later. So those are the things I can tell you. If you're struggling, make one change. If you're eating crap, you find yourself not doing well, just make a subtle change. Start eating better. You'll feel better. If you're not getting enough sleep, go to bed an hour earlier if you can. And it's sometimes difficult for me. I'm a bit of a night owl. I don't go to bed till 11, 12, sometimes 1:30 in the morning, but I sleep till 8:30. I'm at the office 9 by 10, and I'm rock and roll. Sometimes I'm staying later at the office. Okay? And then exercise. If you can get up and move, especially if you're finding yourself in an office, if you find that you're in the same thing, sometimes it's best just to get up and go for a walk around the office. Sometimes it's just walk around the building. Sometimes you need a break. And I know that I haven't done enough of that, especially during the day. Sometimes I need to get up and just walk around. Now, if you've ever been in my office, you'll often see that Greg and Jennifer's office is on the other side of the building. So it's a nice break to walk over there, see what's going on, and walk back. Okay? Let's see. Laura said something here. Laura says, I also like Admiral William McRaven's speech. If you want to change the world, make your bed. If you're feeling stuck, smart with small accomplishments and build up your confidence in your abilities. That's exactly right, Laura. That's William McRaven's actually had a book about that, about making your bed and why the Navy SEALs, everybody starts out with the importance of making your bed because you accomplish something immediately in the morning. So love that quote. Casey says, me too, is about getting up and doing things better. I get that, man. We all struggle with things, and us bigger guys to be careful about it. But I look back the last 3 years and where I was physically 3 years ago. And business, great. Things are growing. We've had this office here roughly now for about 3.5 years. I'm not traveling nearly as much as I used to, although people like to joke that I still do. Really started in the last 1.5, 2 years, really being very focused with my trainer. And I look at my health. I feel how my back feels. I feel like after I get out working out with Thomas, I feel like I can run through a brick wall. I feel like the Hulk. I see a difference in my body. I feel different in my body. And I realize that I'm much closer to that championship bell than I was a year ago, 2 years ago. Okay. Steph likes Laura's comment here. I saw that speech too, Laura. I'll make that a priority for a solid start. Yep, exactly. Good stuff. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for if you're struggling with things. Thank you for being here. Thank you for if you've overcome something. Appreciate it. I think it's also going back to the recharge of things. It's important to schedule your recharge or schedule things on a calendar so you don't end up overbooking yourself. We've got a couple things on our calendar already planned for in the next 90 days. A couple things. And then we've also got something planned for the first of next year. That's going to be a working and fun thing as well, too, with our friend Jeffrey Taylor, Mr. Landlord. Schedule it out, because what will happen is if you're working on things, you're very intent and close and focused on things, and you're not looking up a lot, you'll forget to schedule those things that help you unwind or recharge. You'll forget about it and you'll just plow over them. I know I've done that the last 4 years. It's one of the things I've told Steph, like, listen, just schedule it. Let's go do those things. Let's go do those things. We'll make them work. We'll find a way to make it work. And you know what happens when you put things on your calendar, when you put things in your schedule, you find a way to make them work. You'll find a way to figure those things out. And it doesn't have to be traveling to Europe. It could be something starting off with. It could be kind of like the old Yes Man movie. If you remember that movie with Jim Carrey, where he would go on a different weekend with Zooey Deschanel, where they would just go to the airport and pick a city and then travel to that city and do some fun things in that city, be tourists for the day. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you just got to take a break and go do those things. It's important because you can use it, and you'll be surprised how often when you're recharging your brain, something will pop into it. Oh, I need to do that. I'll give you a great example. Something popped in my brain 2 nights ago. I'm up all night thinking about something, and suddenly the next morning, the answer appears. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'm still going to do that. It's so obvious. Why didn't I think about that sooner? Because I was overthinking. The problem, and I went back. So what's the most simplest thing that I could do? And I realized that was the best answer. And champions don't always do the most difficult things. They do sometimes the simplest things, but they do the simple things very well. If you look at, I hate to say this, but you look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm physically choking talking about the Philadelphia Eagles as a Cowboys fan. They blocked better. They tackled better. They caught the ball better than what the Patriots did in the Super Bowl. That's what it all comes down to. They blocked better, they tackled better, and they caught the ball better. And that's really the difference in the Super Bowl. It came out as little simple things, like 3 or 4 plays. And that's what you have to realize. No matter what business you're in, or whatever aspect of real estate, it's all the little things that you do on a daily basis. It's reaching out to banks, it's making offers, it's doing your due diligence, and it's marketing. Those really kind of the 4 things are the tackling and blocking of the note industry. So I know I've kind of talked about the whole thing about championship earlier on. That's what it all comes down to. You got to have the courage to keep going forward. All right. That's what C stands for. H is you're all going to hurt at some point, but at some point that hurt is not going to hurt. It's going to become honor. My buddy Greg Reed likes to talk about Evander Holyfield, and now when he interviewed Evander Holyfield, Greg was asking, don't you feel the punch? He's like, you don't feel the minute you start feeling and listening to the punches, you're back on the canvas. When you win, though, you don't feel any of those punches. You feel amazing. People are lifting you up. Okay. But if you lose and you give up or you're knocked out, you feel every punch in the opponent's locker room. Okay. Attitude is the most important thing. You've got to have a positive attitude. You've got to keep a positive mental attitude and knock some things out. Okay. M, Money comes and go. You got to have the motivation. What drives you every day? What's your why? Okay. P is to persevere. Like I said, got to stay consistent and keep persevering through things. Okay. Integrity is important. Be a man or woman of your word. And if you goof up, I think it's the biggest thing. If you goof up, be the first person to say, "Huh, I goofed up. My apology. Let me show you how I'm going to fix it." Okay. Optimistic. Got to be optimistic about things. That's important. Necessary because I'm never giving up. Hey, you gotta keep rocking on. Realize that your championship belt or your championship trophy or whatever that end game thing is for you has got to be in front of you every time. All right, that's what goes into a champion. And you're not going to always succeed. You're going to have hurts. You're going to have pains. You're going to have failures along the way. I'm just going to tell you, knock it out. Keep rocking forward, and eventually, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a month, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's a year, maybe it's 6 years from now. You'll be sitting there standing, looking back at yourself, and realize how far you've come, and that you are further up. Whether it's on top of that mountaintop, or it's in the ring, or it's on a podium, or wherever it is, keep knocking it out. You're gonna get rock and rolling. Okay. Cody Cox likes to say here: a few simple disciplines practiced every day leads to a champion. That's true. Simple disciplines practiced every day. So. Once again, guys, thank you for joining us on the Note Closer Show today. That's all I've got for you. It is Friday. Go out, make something happen. Do something today. Do something this weekend to help you recharge your batteries so you can drive that into Monday. Drive that into the beginning of the week to have a much more successful week ahead of you. We're excited. We've got a few cool guests next week on the show. We've got my buddy Dave Pearchin. We're going to be coming on and talking about Columbus and the Ohio market. And then we have Lindsay Gordon going to be joining us on Thursday. Lindsay's a friend of mine, note investor, who has used the note business to help create her life of fun and doing a lot of cool things. So we're excited to have her on next Thursday as well. So like I said, go out, have a great weekend, and we look forward to seeing you all at the top, everybody. Bye.